Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Hi, I'm Terry Sullivan and welcome to this week's Sticks Radio Show here on Seclo Sounds. On the show today I have two guests. In a little while we'll be talking to a gentleman called Steve Hewlett. You may remember him from last season's Britain's Got Talent when he had Simon Cowell even smiling with his puppet of the great man himself. He'll be joining me towards the end of the show with his other puppet called Arthur Lager, so we're in for a bit of a laugh there. But my first guest is none other than Mr. Michael Williams. He's the current lead singer of the Drifters. He'll be talking about the legacy of the Drifters, and we'll be talking about the new album they have out. But before that, let's listen to one of the classic Drifters tracks. This is Saturday Night at the Movies.
Well, Saturday night at 8 o'clock, I know where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick my baby up and take her to the picture show. Everybody in the neighborhood is dressing up to be there too. And we're gonna have a ball just like we always do. Saturday night at the movies, who cares what picture you see? When you're hugging with your baby, last row in the balcony. Well, there's Technicolor and the CinemaScope, a cast out of Hollywood, and the popcorn from the candy stand makes it all seem twice as good. There's always lots of pretty girls with figures they don't try to hide. I can compare to the girl sitting by my side. Saturday night at the movies, who cares what picture you see? When you're hugging with your baby, last row in the balcony. You see, when you're hugging with your baby, let's roll in a balcony. Whoa, Saturday night at the movies, who cares what picture you see? When you're hugging with your baby, let's roll in a balcony. Yeah, Saturday night at the movies.
Today, my guest on the show is none other than Michael Williams. He's a current lead singer of the fabulous Drifters. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
Well, dodgy throat, but well, that's a long story. You're just glad you haven't got the same thing as me. I mean,
haven't.
I mean, the Drifters' legacy is an amazing thing. 51 years this year.
60 years.
61 years. Sorry, my maths is terrible. Terrible. that's right. 61 years and 65.
61 years, yeah.
And 65 members.
Members.
You have some seriously big shoes to fill, though.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I felt it the first time I sort of got involved with the Drifters. When I first met Tina Treadwell, who's the daughter of George and Faith, who put the group together, she approached me and asked me if I wanted to be an understudy with the Drifters. And of course, you know, my heart started filling up and everything else. My parents were big Drifters fans, and you know, I knew immediately what it meant. You know, guys like Johnny Moore and Clyde McFadder and Rudy Lewis and all those great guys. All of a sudden, I was, you know, going to be a part of this legacy. In the first 2 years, I kind of struggled to cope with that pressure. And it wasn't until I kind of sat down with Butch Leak and Joe Blunt all those the older guys that were part of the lineup during the 70s, they said, look, and you're a drifter now, so here's the bat and you run with it. And I kind of, started to get myself together. But you're right, big shoes to fill. Some great guys have gone through this lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. You look through the hits they've had. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, let's talk a little. Let's talk a little bit about yourself and where you're from and how before the Drifters. Where do you reside from, Michael?
Well, I was born in Birmingham, Alabama,
okay.
But I live in New York now.
Do you?
As soon as I got out of high school, I went traveling. I knew I wanted to be involved in music. Mom and Dad played music around the house. We sang in church, and so I got my own band together and started traveling across New York. And I did everything I could, whether it be weddings, nightclubs, anything I can get. And funny enough, that was where I spotted Tina Treadwell in a nightclub. She was actually in this club where myself and my band were playing. And she approached me after the gig and asked me if I wanted to be an understudy with the Drifters. I reminded her of Gerhard Frascher, who was one of the original Drifters. He was a big guy. He had a tenor voice. And we sat a little bit, and she said, you sound like him, and look, we want to get you down and have you audition, which I did, and I spent a year as an understudy. Just learning what it was to be a Drifter, learning all the back catalog, all the history, everything to do with the Drifters. I had to learn it, and finally got my chance about 9 years ago.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I bet when you were sort of touring around the clubs in New York, what was it, years and years ago, you thought, I bet you thought, oh yeah, I'd love to be a Drifter.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I used to sing Drifter songs in my set.
Were you?
Yeah.
I mean, they're iconic. They're iconic songs.
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that.
They're iconic songs. I mean, sitting in the back.
They're very iconic songs.
I mean, everybody knows the Drifters.
Everybody knows the Drifters, and some of those songs have just taken on a life of their own. They're just they don't write songs like that anymore.
Well, I don't know. I know you have a new album out. We'll talk about that in a little while.
Okay.
I've listened to it. It's very nice, very Drifterish.
Very much.
Very new, but very Drifterish, isn't it? It's an evolvement. We'll talk about that in a little while.
Okay.
I mean, I saw in 1995 you toured with fabulous UB40.
I did some backing vocals for UB40 in the Caribbean, and
Can't be a worse place.
A friend of mine got me that gig, and it was a great. I spent about a month touring with the guys, and had a lot of fun, and learned a lot of new things, and of course I was a young man learning my trade back then, so I was grateful of the chance. They're
back together, only instead of Addie Campbell, they have Addie Campbell's brother with them now.
Yeah, so I've heard. I was kind of heartbroken when Ali left. But I was glad to know that the group didn't crumble. And
they're still very much going on in England, which is great at the moment. I'm very, very pleased.
Fantastic.
So you've been playing with the Drifters since 2006 and 2007.
Yeah.
I mean, the travelling must be sort of the downside of any musical thing.
I tell you, it really is. I mean, sometimes I think I have the best job in the world, but then sometimes you look at it, it's not easy. It's not easy. You miss your family, you miss your friends, you're on the road constantly. I mean, I got to go home for 2 weeks for Christmas, and I'm back on the road again, and so it's tough. It's hard, and we try to paint it sometimes as being such a fabulous career, and you got all this stuff and with celebrity and everything else, but it really is hard, and it's not as easy as it sounds.
No, because you must do quite a few dates a year. I'm not quite sure. I know you're on a rather big tour at the moment. We're going to be talking about 3 dates later as well.
Mm-hmm.
But how? I mean, you've got 3 other. We talk about the 3 other guys. I know they're not with us, but you got Colton Powell with you as well.
Yeah.
He's another church gospel
man. King and Pierre Harrell.
Yeah. And how long have the 4 of you been together?
The 4 of us have been together. I'd say Pierre's the newest guy, so I'd say 4 years. So all 4 of us have been together.
Yeah. So it must be. I mean, so when you were the new boy, it must have been very difficult stepping in. When you were the new boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I knew immediately what I was stepping into. You know, the legacy and everything else that goes with it. You kind of feel that pressure. You know exactly what you're expected to do, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm on stage with these guys that everyone just kind of loves and wants to hear them sing, and you know they're carrying this legacy, and all of a sudden you're carrying it with them. It's a big pressure, but you know it's a lot of fun at the same time. They made me feel welcome, and you know I can't thank them enough.
Yeah, I mean, did you know Carlton or Ryan or Pierre before they joined?
I knew Carlton briefly. I worked with Carlton before. I didn't know Ryan. Ryan's godfather actually is one of the lawyers that works for our company. Works for Clinton's, Tom Fredericks. And it was through Tom Fredericks that Ryan joined the lineup. Obviously, it was his godson. So he said, look, you know, I got somebody here, he's a young guy, he can sing, he can dance, he can do everything. And, you know, I want to bring him along to audition for you guys and to perhaps become an understudy. And he did. And he was, you know, an absolutely fantastic guy. And, you know, he hasn't looked back since. I think he's been in the lineup now for 5 years, going on 6. Yeah,
because, I mean, I'm looking through the Drifters they've sold 114 million albums, 214 million singles, which is amazing. But there was this sort of infighting a few years ago with the. I mean, you spoke about the Treadwell family. And they now own the rights to the Drifters because it was coming a little bit silly at one time. I seem to remember there was like about 8 groups in England at one time, all claiming to be the Drifters.
We still have problems with you know, groups that are calling themselves the Drifters, but like you said, the Treadwell family still own the brand. George Treadwell started it all back in 1953. He passed away in 1967 when Faye took over, his wife, and she ran the Drifters lineup all the way up until 2004. When she got ill and went back to the States, and Tina Treadwell, her daughter, took over, along with Prism Music Group, who's a UK-based company. And so, you know, all these other groups out there that are not endorsed by the Treadwell family, you know, they're making money off the family.
It's just
making money off the Drifters, and it's a sad thing to see.
I agree with you. I must admit, I saw you would have been about 4 years ago in a theatre, which one of the shows you're going to be doing, and there was these 4 ladies sat behind me, and they made the announcement about the Drifters, and you know how Craig McFadden was the last one that was still alive, and he died in 1999. And these 4 ladies at half time turned around, and one said to the other, "Which one of them's the original Drifter?" And I thought, you know, 61. So this would have been about 58 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were if you were the original member and you were 58, and it's 58 years on, you're going to be a middle 70s, late 70s. And I was looking at the stage and thinking, they've aged very well.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, Clyde McFadden was the first Drifter, obviously, and but he only spent a year as a Drifter. He was drafted by the military service, and that happened to a lot of the Drifters in the early days. And George Treadwell said, "Look, I'm not going to have a group if this continues. So, you know, this is going to become a brand. I know I'm going to lose singers, and I'm going to, you know, recruit singers. So this is how it's going to be." And some singers were drafted, some wanted to go on and do other things, and some were fired. You know, Benny King came into the lineup in 1958, and before he came into the lineup, George Treadwell had fired the entire Drifters lineup, and he approached a group called the Five Crowns, and within that group was a young Benny King, who was only 20 years old, and Charlie Thomas was in that group also, in the New Drifters. I've
had the great pleasure of meeting and interviewing Benny King a couple of years ago. He still sounds amazing. Yeah. He was on tour a couple of years ago with Gary U.S. Bonds.
Yeah.
And they were sensational together. I really was so pleased to see him. I mean, he's in his middle 70s now.
Yeah.
Great guy, great.
Thing, though, because he was ill not too long ago, about 4 years ago, and we all thought that, maybe, you know, he's going to have to take it easy, but you know, he's come out again, and he's, like you said, he was on tour last year, and you know, he's still going strong. He's still doing his thing. So,
well, I saw him about 3 or 4 years ago, and he certainly wasn't taking it easy. So, I mean, you were in the UK just before Christmas, and you're now back on the road again, back to the UK. And you seem to come over to England every year. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, this is like our second home. It has been since the 1970s. I mean, Faye Treadwell, when George passed away, took the Drifters to the UK when they lost their record deal with Atlantic Records. They spent 19 years on Atlantic Records and were drafted in 1970. And so she brought the Drifters here to the UK, and we signed with Bella Vista Records, who is now part of Sony. And all those great songs like Kissing in the Back Room, There Goes My First Love, and like Sister and Brother were all recorded here first. So we have a big affinity with the UK, and hence the reason why we come back every year.
So are you seeing? I mean, the fans of years ago are probably my age. I'm in my middle 50s or early 50s. I should imagine they're bringing their daughters along now.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean,
so the age range is.
When I first joined the lineup, I can honestly say the demographic of our audience was probably 40 plus, maybe. When I look out into the audience now, I'm seeing a lot of teenagers and younger. You know, we used to sign autographs after the show. We don't do it so much anymore because we're always hopping from one place to another. Yeah. We get a chance to talk to some of the young kids and some of the young guys, and some of them used to make me laugh because they said, well, we didn't know who the Drifters were, and our mom dragged us here. And, but I'm so glad I came, and I enjoyed the show, and I can't believe how great you guys were. And so they became Drifters fans, and that was just, it was absolutely fantastic thing to hear and to feel, such young kids singing along to songs that were, nearly 40 years older than they were. It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Well, you have a brand new album out. It's the first new Drifters album for a few years, if that's correct.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
very proud of it.
It's very, very nice. It's called La Vie et Amour, Love and Life, and it features some great tracks on it. I mean, it's you've got some tracks written by you've got a track written by Ronan Keating.
Yeah, which was absolutely fantastic. We went to Ireland last year and promoted that single. But that was written by Ronan Keating, and he had us in mind. We went into the studio and kind of try to put our Drifter sound to it, and it worked out. It worked out pretty well. I mean, we sat back and had to listen to it and thought, we like this. This is pretty good. And we haven't had a chance as yet to hear what he thinks of it, but hopefully, fingers crossed, he's going to like it.
Well, you never know. He may even be listening.
Exactly, yeah.
I have.
I would hope so.
It never ceases to amaze me. I have listeners all over the world. I have them in America and in Canada, and it's just absolutely amazing the power of radio nowadays. It's still very, very much so. I mean, they're all original songs, are they not?
Yeah, there's a couple of covers. Amour, for instance, was a cover from a group called Il Divo.
Oh God, yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah, we listened to that song, and we were on tour about 2 years ago. And because we were all missing our families and everything else, that song came on, and it pretty much touched everybody at the same time. Everyone started thinking about their moms and everything. We said, we got to record this song. We've got to record this song. And we did. We went into the studio and recorded it. And, again, we were proud of it. It's a song that's near and dear to our hearts, and we had to get it on the album. Yeah. So we're glad we did.
So I'll tell you what, I'll play that Mama in a little while, and then we'll chat a little bit more.
Mama, thank you for who I am. Thank you for all the things I'm not. Forgive me for the words unsaid, for the times I forgot. Mama, remember all my life. You showed me love, you sacrificed. Think of those young and early days, how I've changed along the way, along the way. And I know you believe, and I know you have dreams, and I'm sorry it took all this time to see that I am where I am because of your truth. And I miss you, Yeah, I miss you. Mama, forgive the times you cried. Forgive me for not making right all of the storms I may have caused, and I've been wrong. Dry your eyes, dry your eyes. And I know you believe, and I know you have dreams, and I'm sorry it took all this time to see that I am where I am because of your truth. And I miss you, I miss you. This makes you smile. I hope you're happy with my life, at peace with every choice I make. How I've changed along the way, along the way. 'Cause I know you believe in all of my dreams, and I owe it all to you, Mama.
Hi, my name's Danielle, and every Monday at 6, I'll be kickstarting your week with the latest local news and events from Milton Keynes. I'll have live guests and feature the people's news. So kickstart your week with me every Monday at 6 p.m. on seclosounds.org.
Okay, that was Mama from the new Drifters album. Welcome back, Michael. How you doing, Michael? Are you still hanging in there?
Still hanging in there.
Jolly good. That's great. I mean, away from singing, what do you like to do yourself? What's your hobbies? And
Well, I like a lot of sports. I like watching sports, basketball. I'm a big fan of basketball. But since coming here to the UK, which I've been doing now for a few years, I've gotten into soccer, or football.
soccer, yeah.
And,
What is it?
and I absolutely love the sport. And whenever I can, I get to go and watch a live game if I can. And so I like sports. I like to chill out and just have fun, and still love my music though. When I'm not singing on stage,
Yeah.
I like to listen to music. I just like to chill out and
Who do you like to listen to?
all kinds of stuff. I mean, I listen to just about everything. Classical music, rock music even. You know, I listen to a lot of, I'm an old school kind of guy, so I like the older songs, the Motown, the Drifters era.
My sort of stuff.
You know, some great songs. So whatever the mood is, that's whatever catches me out. That's what I'll be listening to.
Going back to the football, what team are you supporting in England?
Bet you can't guess.
Manchester United.
There you go.
Ah, it was a good guess. Everywhere I've been around the world. A few years ago. I was on my way. I left from South Africa. I went to Mauritius. And I stopped off as I went through the customs hall. This customs guy stopped me, and I was getting a bit twitchy. He said, "How did Manchester United do today?" I had no idea. I'd been on the plane for 4 hours. I had no idea what he was. So I was.
Oh my God.
You say you like your basketball and you like your football. Is there any other sports you like to do?
Baseball. I love baseball and
Okay.
American football. I used to play those sports a lot when I was younger, but I put on a little bit of weight since then, so I'm not as fit as I was, but I still like to watch.
Do you know actually? I think I saw a picture of you somewhere in doing fencing.
Doing what? Sorry.
Fencing. Did I see you doing?
Oh, that was Carlton.
That's Carlton.
Oh, he was. Yeah, he did a lot of fencing. And we have a young guy who's an understudy with the Drifters who also does fencing now as well. So
Okay.
it was a great thing that the two of them picked such a great sport that not really none of us really know too much about. But
Right.
there you go.
Yeah. I mean, is there anybody you'd love to sing with or work with either as yourself or as a group?
Well, we'd love to collaborate with some of the younger acts that are out now. I mean, like Beyonce. Beyonce's always been a favorite of mine, and Lionel Richie, who's a great friend of ours, who we've never actually worked with, and we'd love to work with Lionel someday. Every time we meet up, last time we met it was probably about a year ago. We met at the NEC in Birmingham, and we talked about it, and we talked about it, and it's always the same thing. Yeah, we got to hook up, man. We got to do something. We got to, and it never happens. So it's always I'd love to get a chance to work with Lionel. He's been an idol of mine, and I'd love to work with him.
Me too. I had the great pleasure of seeing him with the Commodores many years ago, and he did the once, twice, three times a lady, and it's the old lump comes into the throat, doesn't it? And
it does.
I mean, because he spends a lot of time over here. I believe he's got a place over here now, Lionel.
He has,
yeah. I believe he spends a lot of time.
I can't remember where his place was. I've been in the London area. I'm not too sure, but
I mean, it's great. What would you say your favourite song is, Michael? One of the Drifters and one of Not the Drifters, for you?
My favourite song of the Drifters, You're More Than a Number in My Little Red Book.
Oh, very kind.
The reason why that is one of my favorites, that's the song that always comes back to me when I was a kid. It brings back memories of when I was a kid. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but every time I hear that song, it takes me home. It takes me back to growing up in Alabama. My parents used to play those songs, and I just picture myself as a little kid singing that song, and just singing along, not knowing that one day, I'll be a part of this legendary lineup. It's absolutely fantastic. It always takes me home. And I think my second favorite song, I'm going to have to go for one of the new songs that we recorded, actually, a song called Do You Dream of Me, which when I first heard that song, I almost burst into tears. It was written by a guy by the name of Michael Smith. And we recorded that song, and we released it on an album that we released in 2011, which we received gold discs for from Sony Music. And I think that is one of the reasons why it became one of my favorite songs. It was an achievement for us to get an album back in the charts, and to receive recognition from Sony Music was absolutely fantastic for the Drifters, and for the fellas and I. It was a dream come true.
Do you have a song that's non-Drifters that your favourite?
Man, there's so many.
I know.
Many, but one of the songs that I've always enjoyed and that I always loved was "Let's Get It On" by Marvin Gaye.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
That puts you in the mood for you know what.
I don't. It's a bit like Sexual Healing. That's another one, isn't it?
That's a great song. Sexual Healing, another fantastic
great song.
I'm a big fan of Marvin Gaye as well, and he's one of the guys that I definitely would have loved to work with, and but sadly he passed away in '84. So
I know. It's sad. They're all getting of that age, and they're disappearing, aren't they? I won't keep you much longer. We'll what would you say has been the highlight of your career so far?
Well, like I said, we received the gold disc from Sony Music in 2011, which was absolutely fantastic. But one of the highlights for me personally was 2010, when we went out and toured with the Four Tops, the Temptations, and the 3 Degrees all on one bill.
Wow!
And that was absolutely. We did a 10-day tour, and we finished up at the O2 in London. And that was absolutely fantastic. And just to be on stage with have all those legendary acts on stage at the same time, and just giving the crowd all this great music, and just dancing and singing and enjoying each other's company, and talking about old times, and just having so much fun. I was in awe of some of those guys. I grew up listening to them, and they were big fans of the Drifters themselves, and it was just a great thing for everybody involved, and that was probably one of the highlights of my career so far as a Drifter.
That's great. I must admit, I've been very fortunate to see the Four Tops. Saw them a few years ago when all four of the original members were together before Levi passed away, and it was sad, but that's the way.
So. Unfortunately, Levi wasn't there, and Duke is still going strong, and Otis Williams from the Temptations is still around. So.
They're still very, very good to see live. Okay, final question. What would be your idea of a perfect weekend?
Perfect weekend.
Yeah.
Wow. Perfect weekend. I think being on a beach somewhere, maybe Caribbean island somewhere,
Yeah.
Antigua or something like that, sitting on a beach, listening to some good music, sipping on some,
Nice glass of rum.
Yeah, and just forgetting your troubles and of course having a lovely young lady sitting beside me. That would be fantastic too.
So
yeah, my perfect weekend would be having holidaying in the Caribbean, doing nothing but sipping rum and enjoying the sunshine.
Well, when you go on that perfect weekend, don't forget to invite me. I'm joking.
I will. That's a deal.
I must admit, I've had the pleasure of going to the Caribbean quite a few times, and it is definitely well worth a visit.
Oh wow.
Anyhow, let's talk about the 3 shows you're doing in the area. You're doing Friday the 11th of April. You're at the Dunstable Grove Theatre.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
a fabulous place. Then
Fabulous place.
about on the following Saturday, the 19th of April, you're off to the High Wycombe to the Swan. And then
right, yeah.
the final day of the tour, or the final day of the tour in the area, is you're at Stevenage at the Gordon Craig Theatre.
That's right.
And that's on
yeah.
Sunday the 25th of May. I know the
That's
tickets
right.
are all 3 venues I know quite well, and I know the tickets are selling very well. So if you need,
Oh, that's great.
if you'd like to go and see the Drifters, you need to get your act together and go and book the tickets. And if they want to sort of interact with you, you've got your own website, haven't you now? Or the Drifters have.
www.theofficialdrifters.com, and everything is on there. All our tour dates are there.
Yeah.
There's some fantastic stuff on there.
There's
so
some
check
great
it out.
pictures on there as well of yourselves.
Yeah,
You're looking good, all of you. And obviously the album's out now as well. Do you want to
Yes,
give that
it is.
one more quick plug? Your album?
Oh yeah, La Viette L'Amour. That's on sale on iTunes. It's on Amazon. You can get it. You can purchase it at our Lash as well. It's a great album, so check it out.
It is a cracking.
It
It is a cracking album. I've had it for a couple of weeks and really enjoyed listening to it. Neil,
Oh, thank you so much.
that is my pleasure. Neil, thank you very much for your time today, Michael.
Not a problem.
And
Not a problem at all.
Absolute great luck. Good luck with the rest of the tour.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully I'll bump into you at one of those three venues.
I hope so. Let us know if you're coming.
I
A meet and greet or something.
I will do.
Introduce you all the guys.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you so much.
That was Mr. Michael Williams of the Drifters. We're going to play a song from the album. This is the track written by Roland Keating. This is called The Whole World. After this, we'll have a little chat with Arthur Lager and Mr. Stephen Hewlett.
Simple man, my father's son. You know your place, where I come from, but I don't know these streets. When I'm with you, there's something in this night, changing everything I thought I knew. Baby, I've never seen this part of me. Have I lost my mind? Tell me that you see the moon leaning down to kiss your lips, starlight falling at your fingertips, the morning sun just waiting to rise, aching for the like the whole world, just like the whole world's in love with you tonight. And I'm holding on in all this heat, baby, with all my might. It's like the whole world, just like the whole world in love with you tonight.
We've just had a call from JVB, and they're after a new logo.
Okay, let's call our logo agency.
Oh, and Jones & Sons need a new brochure.
Right, I'll get on to our brochure agency.
And they'll need some custom illustrations.
Right, I'll call our illustrator.
And bespoke photography.
Okay, and I'll call our photographer.
Tired of having to find a million different people to cover all your creative needs? With over 20 years of experience in a wide variety of media, Grant Kempster can take care of everything, including commercial and corporate designs, illustration and photography.
And finally, we need some leaflets and ads doing for John Smith Associates.
No problem. I'll give Grant Kempster a call.
For more information, visit grantkempster.com.
MK Flyers Online, the fast and simple way to find any kind of business or service locally. Find us at mkflyersonline.co.uk or download the MK Flyers mobile app from your app store. MK Flyers Online proudly supports Seclo Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes.
Today on the show, my second guest is Steve Hewlett. Many of you remember him from last season's Britain's Got Talent with his puppet Arthur Lager.
Arthur Lager, hello sir, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm dressed like a Tweedledummy now, look at me.
Yeah, you look like one of those.
Look like twins. Yeah,
And you're doing a panto at Easter with Paul Daniels, Debbie McGee and a few other people here at the Grove Theatre. Tell us how you sort of got into the business.
I had a fascination for ventriloquists when I was a kid. So I was 12 years old watching New Faces in 1987. And a ventriloquist from Reading called Jimmy Townley won the grand final. I knocked on his door because we all lived in Basingstoke at the time. He was originally from Reading, but I asked him if he'd give me lessons. So I ended up being his roadie for 10 years. And then, through college and school, I was always a ventriloquist trying to get shows. And I'd done summer seasons on the Isle of Wight, Blackpool, and wherever there was work, where a ventriloquist could work, I would find it. And age 22, I turned professional, which is 17 years this year. And I've just been loving doing what I do. And since I turned professional at age 22, I've been in constant work. Summer seasons, pantomimes, and it's just gone from strength to strength every year. And I build new characters up, in the show, and get rid of characters I've been using for years and introduce new ones. And 10 years ago, that's when Arthur Lager joined me. Yeah, and he ain't looked back, because his actor's a lot funnier now. Yeah.
So, I mean, you famously on Britain's Got Talent, you had a puppet of Mr. Cowell, Simon Cowell.
Yes, I think if you're going to be a ventriloquist or have an act on Britain's Got Talent, you don't just go on there and do your act. Actually, invent something. So I had to do something different rather than my act, because I've been going for 20 years and people have seen my act. So I thought I want to surprise them, people that have already seen me, and even people in the industry that knew I was on the show. And since I've done the show, they go, that was great, what you done. We weren't expecting that. Even my family didn't know. So I pulled out the Simon Cowell dummy, and the judges loved it as well, and the producers didn't know. I kept it a secret from everybody apart from my wife. You know the keeps the secrets from the wife? Yeah, you wouldn't dare.
So you've got, how many puppets have you got?
I've got about 12 large characters, but I use about 5 in my main show. So I think I'm using 2 or 3 in Alice in Wonderland on this fantastic tour we're doing. I'm very proud to be working with Paul Daniels and Debbie McGee, because I know they've worked with the greatest ventriloquists in the world. When he had his TV show, I was growing up, age 12, 14, and he had ventriloquists on, so I'd tune in to watch and see what they were up to. And now, I'm hopefully on the list of ventriloquists that are left. There's not many around these days.
It's a dying art, but it's a great art, because a lot of kids won't have seen this.
Yes, introduced it to a new generation, especially on a show like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big show. I must admit, I never watched, but that's my own thing. But it's a huge show.
Yes.
Like it or loathe it. And it must have opened some serious doors for you.
Yeah, some quite heavy doors. Yes, yeah. Metal ones, wooden ones, caravan ones. They're lightweight. No, we've been very, very fortunate actually. The last year we've done some work with Sunita since then. She loved the Sunita puppets, so we've become friends since the show. I've got my own UK tour, which is 40 dates all over. Alice in Wonderland tour. I'm really, really excited about because obviously I'm working with Paul and Debbie, and there's a great cast in it. The whole cast is fabulous.
You've got Leon and Jessette who were here at the Grove at Christmas, and they are amazing.
So they're well known here as well.
Yeah, Jessette.
So I can't wait.
Is a great character.
Yeah, it's a fab cast.
I had them on the show just before Christmas, and I've also had Paul and Debbie. I've been very honoured to have Paul and Debbie on the show. So hence we have you on the show today.
Yeah, brilliant. Really so it's a nice cast, and we're already cracking jokes in the dressing room. There's going to be a lot of wind-ups, I feel, over Easter, but we're really looking forward to it. It's something different as well. When I signed up for Alice in Wonderland last year, I didn't think of it as a pantomime because I've just done Panto recently, and I've got Panto in Dunstable later this year. I can't wait to come back here. But people started saying, "Oh, you're doing an Easter Panto." I thought, "Am I? I'm just doing a show called." But no, it's another pantomime, which is really hard work to do Panto. But I think this one is going to be fun. It's going to be completely different to Panto, and because we're touring, we're in a venue for 3 days, and then we move on again. So
yeah, because I think the last 4 days are here of the
we
tour.
end here in Dunstable.
That's right.
We open at Gravesend. Yes,
that's right. It's 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yeah.
Of April.
Yeah.
And I'm coming along on the Monday, so at lunchtime.
Oh, brilliant!
I'm bringing my 4-year-old great niece who thinks she's 40, so you could be in trouble. You could be in trouble with her.
It's got to do your heckler then. That's nice.
She'll be heckling you, yes.
Did you say there's a matinee? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
I don't get up till 2.
I know the feeling. So these puppets, they must be quite expensive to manufacture. Or to have manufactured.
Yes, I'm now working. I used to pay like £500 to £1,000 for a character. I've got a Pongo the skunk puppet, which I've had for about 17 years. To get him remade is around £2,000 to £3,000.
Wow.
And now that's what all my characters cost, are around about £2,000, £2,500. Like the Sunita puppets, and I've got a Keith Lemon puppet as well. And
have you?
so I'm introducing new celebrity dummies to my act every year now. So I'll have like 2 or 3 new ones.
So you're going to try and fill the void that Spitting Image perhaps.
I'm the one-man Spitting Image show. Yeah,
it's great. Because I remember that very well, and I think we're missing that kind of satire.
It was a great show. That was all about satire, politics. Mine is more about celebrity and making fun, really, of the celebrity world. So I'm bringing those characters in. There's going to be female ones, male ones. Okay. Could be animals as well, famous animals.
Okay.
Lassie.
So you're not letting the cat. Have you got anyone special new one for Dunstable?
Well, I'm not too sure yet. I may get a brand new one that may make a guest appearance, but I'm still working on 1/3 one to come out this year. Not being made just yet. But I'm all about being creative and innovative at that time as well. Like when I done Britain's Got Talent, brought out those judges. And now if I was on the Royal Variety Show, I would have to get a member of the Royal Family in the act as well. It's going to have to work that way if I do TV. So I was on Alan Titchmarsh show a few weeks ago, and I got an Alan Titchmarsh puppet now. So if I do TV, you need to...
keep it fresh.
Yeah, keep it fresh. It keeps my act fresh as well. So.
I mean, the one downside of being on TV, millions of people see you, but then if they come to the theatre and see that same act, they think, seen that?
Yeah,
definitely. And it will, it's very difficult, isn't it? Like with summer season, you get a different crowd in every night.
Yes.
Whereas TV, if you were doing TV regularly, I mean, I feel sorry for comics who have to do regular TV work to have a different act. It must be very, very different.
Yeah, because you learn it, and then it's I've been doing an act. I've got an hour that I can do in my head, off the top of the head. But when you're doing a tour, you have to learn those scripts. But if you're doing writing different shows on TV all the time, you have to come up with a different script. But I think that's when the script writers would be available to you. But I've always written my own material, and try to be fresh as well with it. So but I mean, I've got characters that suit all ages as well. There's a little Chi-Chi the dog and Pongo the skunk for the kids and teenagers. The Simon Cow puppet will be for the BGT fans, teenagers, and then there's Arthur Lager, which suit the older generation, And actually, the kids love Arthur as well. Yeah, naturally, everyone loves Tanisha, they do.
Yeah, I must admit,
He gets away with a lot.
I'm quite attracted to him myself, so I don't know if that makes me old or what, but never mind. Yeah, I think he's something different. He's sort of naughty. He's the male Sarah Milligan, isn't he?
Kind of. Without the accent, sir, yes. He says the things that I want to but would not get away with, so he gets away with it.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time today, Steve.
Thank you. No, it's been a pleasure.
When this old world starts getting me down and people are just too much for me to face, I climb way up to the top of the stairs and all my cares just drift right into space. On the roof it's peaceful as can be, and there the world below can bother me. Let me tell you now, when I come home feeling tired and weak, I go up where the air is fresh and sweet. On the roof I get away from the hustling crowd and all that rat race noise down in the street. On the roof, the only place I know where you just have to wish to make it so. Let's go up on the roof. Up on the At night the stars put on a show for free, and darling, you can share it all with me. I keep a telling you, right smack dab in the middle of town, I found a paradise that's trouble-proof. Starts getting you down, there's room enough for two up on the roof. Up on the roof. Up on the roof. Oh, come on, baby. Oh, come on, honey. Up on the roof. Everything's alright.
Seglo Sounds is based at the Old Rectory, the home of our studio partner, Interaction MK. They've been bringing arts to life in Milton Keynes for over 35 years. They use the arts to improve the life chances of disabled people and others in challenging circumstances. Through sharing creative activity, their programme helps participants to develop creative, personal and social skills. Visit them at www.interactionmk.org.uk.
Oh, when the sun beats down and burns the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. From the park you hear the happy sounds of a carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs and French fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby. under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk. We'll be having some fun under the boardwalk. People walking above under the boardwalk. We'll be falling in love under the boardwalk, boardwalk. A blanket with my baby around me under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk. We'll be having some fun under the boardwalk. People walking above under the boardwalk. We'll be falling in love under the boardwalk, boardwalk.
There we are, that was a two in a row from the Drifters. First we had Up on the Roof, and then we had Under the Boardwalk. Well, after that time with Steve Hewlett and Arthur Lager, I wasn't sure if I was Up on the Roof or Under the Boardwalk. I have to explain, I recorded that interview about a week ago in the dressing room at the Grove Theatre, where I met the fabulous Steve and Arthur Lager. Well, we had a scream, I can tell you. That's what you heard is not half what actually went on. Now, if you'd like to see Steve, along with Paul Daniels, Debbie McGee, and also last year's Panto, a couple of the guys from last year's Panto, Leon Craig and Jessette Amos. You may remember they were on the show just before Christmas. The show is on, it's Alice in Wonderland, and it's unusual for an Easter Panto, but I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to going myself. It's at the Grove Theatre. It starts on Friday the 18th of April, and that's at 7 o'clock, and then it has Saturday two shows, Saturday the 19th, 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Also Sunday they're doing 1 and 4:30, that's Sunday the 20th, and then on Monday the 21st, also doing 1 p.m. and a 4:30 show. Really sounds like fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, we're fast running out of time. I'd like to thank both my guests today, Mr. Michael Williams of the Drifters, and also Steve Hewlett. Next week on the show, I have Joe McElderry, along with the Panto producer Jamie Wilson, who's going to be talking about both this Alice in Wonderland show and also the Christmas Panto. And it seems a long way off. But before that, let's play another track from the new Drifters CD. Let's play, this track is called Dance With My Father.
Back when I was a child, before life removed all the innocence, my father would lift me high and dance with my mother and me, and then spin me around till I fell asleep. Then up the stairs he would carry me, and I knew for sure I was loved. If I could get another chance, another walk, another dance with him, I'd play a song that would never, ever end. How I love, love, love to dance with my father again. When I and my mother would disagree, to get my way I would run from her to him. He'd make me laugh just to comfort me, yeah. Then finally make me do just what my mama said. Later that night when I was asleep, he left $1 under my sheets. Never dreamed that he my father again. Every night I fall asleep, this is all I ever dream.
Seclo Sounds is the community radio station for Milton Keynes, producing a variety of programmes covering music, health, business, sports, faith, the arts, entertainment and much more. For more information about our programmes, visit the programme and schedule pages of our website, seclosounds.org, as well as our replay page to hear what these programmes have to offer.
This is Seclo Sounds, and you can listen to us by clicking Listen Live on our homepage at seclosounds.org for a choice of players. Via TuneIn Radio at www.tunein.com, search for Seclo Sounds and listen online or download the TuneIn app. You can download the Seclo Sounds iPhone app from the iTunes App Store, and you can listen to us on demand at our replay page.
There we are. There's a little bit about the station Seclo Sounds and also how you can listen to us, other options of listening to us apart from online. I think you'll agree with me today. We played some great songs. The classic Drifters tracks. First we played Saturday Night at the Movies, and also we played Up on the Roof and Under the Boardwalk. Also, 3 new tracks from their very latest album, Mama, which was rather appropriate considering it was Mother's Day just this last weekend. Also we had The Whole World, which was written by Ronan Keating for them, and also Dance with My Father. As I said a little while ago, my guest next week is X Factor winner Joe McElderry, and also Jamie Wilson, who's going to talk about the Easter Panto and also the Panto Christmas. I've been Terry Sullivan. This has always been the Sticks Radio Show. Until next week, it's bye for now.
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.